a lot and dances wildly to forget what happened earlier. Sometimes drops her phone in the toilet when she gets up to flush. In the following scene, as a nurse, she is assisting a patient as he shows her interesting video. He then holds up a different card that says, "At 5 million views, it's going on." She rushes to the hospital's phone to call Nick, but she then asks his coworker Matt about him. Matt claims that he hasn't seen him, that he missed his 8 o'clock meeting and hasn't been to work yet. Paya gets rid of the guard and watches the video herself. She is as shocked as Paya to file a missing report. On their way, the views in Nick's video asks them several questions about Nick and focuses on the part about him assault. Sophie gets a call from her older son Ethan and goes back home to where Nick is. However, the app cannot find his location because Sophie tells the kids to not watch the video anymore and to not go to school for their fight the previous day and says there are things he needs to talk about with her. Paya says she hasn't. Paya opts to not tell her about the situation, but that another video of Nick has been uploaded to the website. In this one, Luca is added to investigate the case. After watching the video, confession, and asks the women if Nick is known to be violent, an enraged something before the video reaches 5 million views. When Sophie and mail on the down low, because Nick sounds apologetic in it, which wouldn't help more nervous because of the call. The video now has over 1 million and that finding out Nick's location is beyond his reach, but he has created a but appreciates the help anyway. After that, she makes her way to Nick's house, confronts her for keeping Nick's disappearance from her. She apologizes, and the video has made the news because of its popularity. Suddenly, her hacker friend, by analyzing the symbols in the background, Paya thanks Vince, and after a while, she refreshes the website and sees that the views have reached location with a SWAT team, only to find that the van is empty. Station, Luca assigns tasks to all the officers involved in the case. Luca asks him to accompany Sophie to her home. Outside her house, officers spread around, looking for any significant clue they can find. The kid family members' phones, so that they can extract data that can potentially help them. Maya, who says that hers is at her apartment because it is broken. Amidst the search for a long time. In fact, before Paya's phone dropped in the toilet, moved from it because he is from the missing persons department. He suggests with a tablet. Ethan says that it was his father's old tablet, that no one explains that Nick's case has grown so popular that people have established an app called. The areas that have already been searched are marked off the map in red. He is not in favor of involving the civilians in the search. Roshan also office. Detective Luca condescendingly asks him to go home. Roshan visits the mosque and then his home. His parents had seen dismisses the question. The following day, Sophie makes an official statement to the had left her before his disappearance. Roshan is annoyed with her for not about, but Paya doesn't know either. Roshan then goes to the sergeant and to his desk, only to find the pictures from his dating profile pasted all over. Luca claps back, saying that Roshan is not a team player and is using this. Soon, an empty syringe is found nearby. They conclude that family about Nick's bike being found, and asks to speak to Sophie in private. And Nick were facing some marital issues before his disappearance. Directly asks her if she knows where her husband is. Sophie looks at him. He asks her about her fight with Nick, only to be dismissed. Eventually, on it, she also reveals that on March 16th, he came to her with bruises. Quickly rushed to the location, where a crowd of people surround Nick's body. Incident, Roshan drops Paya off at her apartment, where Nick's coworker met to look where Nick was on the 16th of March. He finds out he was at that day. Later, he calls Paya to the police station and shows her the views. Roshan presents his idea about the geonicking to Luca, who dismissed body in a nearby river. In the following scene, we see Roshan lying on the floor, mourning her brother's death. The next day, Roshan asks his coworker to go through Sophie's socials. While working, Roshan knows that it is the same man. In the following scene, we see Sophie how he died. Luca reveals that he had head trauma, but the cause of the man, and asks Sophie if she knows him. To their surprise, a colleague named Curtis Hamilton. She claims they are just friends, and she finally reveals to the kids that their father is not returned to see her brother's body. However, she is not allowed to see him until the friend. Her mother looks at her in disbelief. It is clear that something was at the house, asking if she can sleep for the night. Sophie invites her but does to the fullest. But by the end of it, Sophie received a text from the affair with Curtis. Nick was furious at her. Back in the present day in Sophie's life, and asks her if she is fine. Sophie instead asks him every detail of their relationship. Who was interested first? When did they meet? As they talk, the police knock on his door and arrest Curtis as suspects of Nick's murder. Subscribe for more videos like this.